Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to another episode of my director collections. Today I'm just going to show off what I have of the works of George Romero. Probably famous obviously for starting the zombie genre that we still have today. It's hard to believe we haven't had zombie fatigue yet. I wonder if he ever regrets it. Obviously there was I Walk with a Zombie, and you could argue Carnival of Souls, but obviously his debut did create quite a stir, and he kept making quite a few zombie films himself, but his career's a bit more than just zombie films. But I want to talk about George Romero first as a human being. He's one of those filmmakers that everybody seemed to love. Nobody seems to have a bad word to say about him, which, as we know, in Hollywood that's pretty rare, because Hollywood is full of psychopaths and narcissists. So you have to celebrate when you find people that people just seem to love working for, and seem to be such a kind and friendly person, because it's kind of rare nowadays. So we'll start with the Romero film that I had never seen until I saw it, and that's Bruiser. This is The Indicator. It's by 211. This is just the Blu-ray, not the 4K, but the Blu-ray looks really good as well. And this is from the year 2000, and this is one of these films that just was forgotten about. It's a French-Canadian co-production. It stars Jason Flemyng, Peter Stormare, again doing another wonderfully underplayed performance. Yeah, and this is about Jason Flemyng, who's not in a great place relationship-wise or work-wise, and he puts on a mask and lets his frustrations out. It's about identity, how we see ourselves, how other people see us, and it's a really nice little film. But again, did nothing in the box office, was forgotten about, but Indicator do what they do, and bring it back to life. It's a 4K restoration, and obviously there's a 4K release as well. There's a commentary with Romero. Romero again is one of those guys you can listen to his commentaries all day long. He's in that upper echelon of director commentaries. There's an archival interview which is 44 minutes. It's an audio interview from 2013 with Romero. Behind the Mask, which is 10 minutes long, from 2024, where Jason Flemyng talks about it. A Perfect Fit from 2024. Dr. Chud, the former Misfits drummer, talks about the band's appearance in the film and its contribution to the soundtrack. The Worm That Turned, which is a 12-minute piece from 2024 with Kim Newman, talking about the film. There's an introduction by Jean-Baptiste Thoret from 2022, which is 10 minutes. The French filmmaker and critic looks at Bruiser in the context of Romero's wider career. And there's a Bruiser soundtrack demo, which is 2 minutes long, which is a previously unheard excerpt from Dr. Chud's unused score. And there's trailers. There is an 80-page booklet, or book. There's the man himself. Just another beautiful edition by, I mean, obviously it looks a little bit like Phantom of the Opera. Revenge Has No Face. Yeah, it's just one of those films that came and went. But again, the non-zombie George Romero films, I think, are always overlooked. but they're very interesting and well worth a look. So that's Bruiser from the year 2000. From 1993, another kind of underappreciated film, The Dark Half. It's one of the better Stephen King adaptations. Stars Timothy Hutton as a writer who creates a character that slowly takes over his life and manifests itself or himself. Co-starring Amy Madigan. Remember when Amy Madigan was big for a couple of years? Julie Harris and Michael Rooker. Music by Christopher Young, did the Hellraiser score. And adapted by Romero himself. Yeah, I remember when this came out. I believe I saw it in VHS, but this is a lovely release by Eureka. It's a Blu-ray and a DVD. Timothy Hutton, who I've always kind of liked. He's a sneaky good actor. He always goes under the radar. Yeah, but this is another Romero non-zombie film that's really good. There's a commentary with Romero again. There's the Romero episode of Son of the Incredibly Strange Film Show, which is 38 minutes, with Jonathan Ross. That's from 1989. I'm sure I saw it in 1989. The Sparrows Are Flying Again, The Making of the Dark Half, which is 36 minutes, which is a retrospective with Romero, the makeup effects, the visual effects, actor Robert Joy and editor Pasquale Bubba. Yeah, if you haven't seen these non-zombie Romero films, they're all worth checking out. And then next, from 1988, it's Monkey Shines, just Monkey Shines, An Experiment in Fear. I think Umbrella have a deluxe version of this as well. This is Eureka once again. Look at that monkey, cheeky monkey. Again, this is science gone wrong. This is an email. This is a Blu-ray and a DVD. I don't even know where email came from. Unbelievable. Again, English is not my first language. This is about a paraplegic who gets a little monkey friend to do tasks, but the little monkey friend becomes possessive and almost becomes the person's rage manifested. It stars Jason Begg, John Pankow, Kate O'Neill, Joyce Y. Patton, Janine Turner from Northern Exposure and Cliffhanger has a small role in it. Again, it's silly, but again, there's more going on in Romero films under the surface. Now, arguably Romero's favourite film from a personal level, this is Night Riders, which is pretty hard to get on Blu-ray. It really needs a re-release. And this is from 1981. It stars Ed Harris. This is the Arrow Blu-ray and DVD edition. And it's about a bunch of bikers who dress up as knights. It shouldn't really be as good as it is, but it's just wonderful. Tom Savini acts in the film. Again, there's a commentary with George Romero, Tom Savini, John Amplis and Christine Romero. The genesis of a legend, Ed Harris remembers his first leading role. A Date with Destiny, Tom Savini reflects on Night Riders. Medieval Maiden, an interview with actress Patricia Tallman. Again, there's no amazing plot going on. It's about rivalry and just the scrapes that this group gets into, and it's wholly charming and wholly wonderful. Again, if you're expecting like a horror film, it's not. It's just a bunch of people doing what they do and having fun. Next, from 1973, this is The Crazies, which is one of those films that actually has a pretty decent remake. So this isn't zombies, but It's a virus that's making people act strangely. Where have we had that before? And this is quite wonderful. This is a 4K restoration. There's a commentary by Travis Crawford. Romero was here locating the crazies. Romero historian Lawrence de Vincennes takes us on a guided tour of Evans City, Pennsylvania, and the locations used in the crazies. Crazy for Lynn Lowry. Cult star Lynn Lowry discusses her early career role in the crazies, and there's a Q&A with Lynn Lowry filmed at the 2016 Abattoir Film Festival. There's an audio interview with producer Lee Hessel, behind the scenes footage with optional commentary by Lawrence de Vincennes, alternate opening titles. Yeah, it's just a wonderful little film, and as I said, the remake with Timothy Olyphant is really quite good as well. Next, from 1972, it's Season of the Witch. It does have an alternate title, Hungry Wives, which is more, they tried to kind of re-release it as more of a sexploitation film, which is what it's not really. Again, this is a nice little film, but certainly near the bottom of my favourite Romeros. This is a 4K restoration as well. There's the theatrical version at 90 minutes, there's an alternate extended version at 104 minutes. There's a commentary by Travis Crawford when Romero met Del Toro, filmmaker Guillermo del Toro, in conversation with George Romero, which is just lovely because they're both lovely, lovely people. The Secret of Jack's Wife audio interview with actress Jan White. There's alternate opening titles, sorry. And there's a location gallery with audio commentary by Romero historian Lawrence de Vincennes. He gets about a bit. Yeah, not the go-to Romero film, but obviously still worth a look. From 1978, one of his most famous, Dawn of the Dead. This is the second sight brick edition, the Blu-ray version, not the 4K, and this is just lovely. Lovely art cards, look at that, lovely. Novelization, which is lovely. Look at those words, you don't get words like that when you stream it. A lovely hardback book, production notes, posters, essays, all that good stuff. And then we have these lovely disc boxes which keep going. So we've got the Blu-ray, the theatrical cut, the extended cans cut, the Argento cut, and special features. And again, we have another sleeve, which is 3 discs of the soundtrack, which is library music, if you don't know. Yeah, just a beautiful set for a beautiful film. A film about shopping and not standing too close to helicopters. Dawn of the Dead. Then perhaps his best film, but again one of his most overlooked for years. It wasn't out on Blu-ray, but finally it took a while, but Second Sight did a 4K, and that's Martin. The Am I a Vampire, Am I Not? My uncle seems to think so. This is just wonderful seeing it. They still made it grimy, they didn't like clean it up and polish it, which it shouldn't be. There's the uncle. There's a young Tom Savini. There's a very young, beardless George Romero as a priest who smokes and drinks. And there's Martin dressing up as a vampire. But is he a vampire? Is he not a vampire? Is he mentally ill? Is his uncle mentally ill? Are you mentally ill? It's just a wonderful film. But again, because it wasn't a zombie film, it kind of got forgotten about or overlooked, or again, just a beautiful addition by Second Sight. Lots of essays and production stills, and there's a very happy man with a camera. And again, a lovely little, I mean, obviously these are available in standard editions as well. So you get the 4K, you get the Blu-ray, and again you get the soundtrack. I've got the Arrow window edition of Martin on DVD, which I should have pulled, and I've also got the windowed Arrow edition of Dawn of the Dead, which I should have pulled, but I always forget something. And then from 1985, here's a steelbook of Day of the Dead, which is my least favourite of the Dead films, but it has grown on me. Obviously the iconic hands coming out of the wall, some wonderful gore in this film. I think this is my least favourite one just because most of the characters are absolutely horrible, but again, that's a statement in itself. The men in the film are absolute scum for the most part, which again is fairly realistic. It has grown on me though, but it's still my third favourite out of the three. I have watched Land of the Dead, and I don't think I've seen Diary of the Dead, but I don't have them. Then Creepshow. This is a nice addition by Scream Factory. The Stephen King Romero anthology film, which is lovely. You get a nice little booklet with images and words, and there's just the standard. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Leslie Nielsen, Adrienne Barbeau, and this little fella. Ah, tremendous stuff. And then from 1968, Night of the Living Dead. Again, this is now available in 4K, but I don't really want a 4K. The Blu-ray looks really nice. Again, it's one of those films that shouldn't be too nice looking, a bit like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. 1968, obviously Martin Luther King was killed that year. We all know what the ending of this film is like. I mean, this is a 4K restoration, so do you really need the 4K? It's a new restoration of the soundtrack, supervised by Romero, and it's the Night of Anubis, a new, never before presented work print edit. There's a new programme featuring Frank Darabont, Guillermo del Toro and Robert Rodriguez. Never before seen 16mm dailies reel. A new programme featuring Russo and the Commercial and Industrial Film Production Company, where key Night of the Living Dead filmmakers got their start. Two commentaries from 1994 featuring Romero, Russo, who's the co-screenwriter, producer Carl Hardman, actor Judith O'Dea and others. There's archival interviews with Romero and actors Dwayne Jones and Judith Ridley. New programmes about the film's style and score. New interview programme about the direction of ghouls, featuring members of the cast and crew. New interviews with Gary Striner and Russell Striner. Newsreels from 1967. Trailer radio spots and TV spots. And there's also an essay as well. Beautiful artwork too. Don't really need to say much about Night of the Living Dead, do we? You could argue, is it a good thing it started the zombie apocalypse? Or not. And then finally, again, probably one that's near the bottom of the Romero pile, Two Evil Eyes. He's only responsible for half. George Romero and Dario Argento did two stories. This is from 1990, and it's Edgar Allan Poe's The Facts in the Case of M. Valdemar, which Romero did with Adrienne Barbeau, and Argento does another version of The Black Cat with Harvey Keitel. Again, not the go-to Romero half film. This is Italian collection number 43. With art cards, and you also get a disc with a film on it, which I always enjoy. There's HD master with Italian and English audio tracks and newly created English subtitles. Kim Newman talks about the film, which is always good. Two Evil Eyes, an interview with second unit director Luigi Cosi and cult actress Caroline Munro, and there's an Italian opening and closing credits, and there's a theatrical trailer. So that's my Romero collection. Again, don't overlook him just because of his zombie films. There's a lot more going on than just zombies. And he's a wonderful, wonderful person, which we can't get enough of these days. So thanks very much for watching. Please let me know what George Romero films you have in your collection and what you think of them. Is Romero just a zombie? This is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films saying thanks very much and farewell.